You saw this, so now Liz Warren falls for every stupid trick that Donald Trump pulled. You guys are more radical than I am. How could that be? I mean, I'm radical. So Donald Trump got her to say this.
I am not a person of color. I am not a citizen of a tribe.
What?
Really?
So here is so Elizabeth Warren went on and she said
You mentioned
this.
earlier that you don't believe in unilateral disarmament. So does this only apply in the primaries, or will you carry this over to the general election or any other election you'll have going forward?
So this is for primaries. Look, I do not believe in unilateral disarmament. We need to win. We need to win in 2020. And when we hit 2020, and we're in a race against Donald Trump, when we're in a race for control of the Senate and control of the House and in control of the state houses and the governor's mansions. In all of those, the Republicans are going to be bringing a lot of money, a lot of power, a lot of dark money, a lot of super PACs, all to the fight. We play by the same rules. And in that one, I say we got to be all in.
But you guys, don't you understand? She only wants to take the dark money when it comes to the White House, the Senate, the House, governorships, state houses. So when we do the dog catcher election, no dark money. It'll be okay. What the fuck is she talking about? Every election is for the White House and the Senate and the House and governorships and state legislatures. When do we have an election that doesn't involve those people? What the fuck kind of bullshit are you slinging?
I don't belong to a tribe.
That's right.
What?
Okay. And as Bernie says, you can't change a corrupt system by taking its money. Elizabeth Warren goes to bat for the medical device industry. She did that. She tried to get the tax taken off in Obamacare for the medical device industry. Elizabeth Warren attends Martha's Vineyard dinner hosted by big bank executive Democrats Wolf of Wall Street. Robert Wolf hosts Wall Street critic Warren. Former Wall Street CEO Robert Wolf told the New York Times after a Hamptons fundraiser, "I think Senator Warren's views are more pragmatic. I think she is very different in a conversation than she is on the stump." So it sounds like she's got a private position and a public position. Am I right, Malcolm?
Jimmy, she was just there to tell him to cut it out.
She's going to go to Wall Street and say, "Cut it out." She didn't make any public announcement over the weekend regarding her participation in that donor event at Martha's Vineyard. She did, however, post pictures on Twitter of a town hall she held in Martha's Vineyard prior to the dinner, noting that the event was what democracy looks like. Hey, in recent months, Senator Elizabeth Warren of Massachusetts has visited New York at least twice for fundraising receptions, including one hosted by Meyer S. Fruker, the vice chairman of NASDAQ. Now, that was in 2017 when she was raising money for her Senate campaign. By the way, all that corporate money she raised for her Senate campaign, she's using in the fucking primary. Am I right about that? Yes, I am. So So here she gets asked about her vote, and here's what she says.
You have focused a lot on progressive domestic policy. You also voted for a military budget increase in 2017. How does that square with your progressive politics when we're talking about foreign policy?
If the question is, do I think we should cut the military budget, the answer is yes.
Okay, that wasn't the question. That's not the question. I don't know if you heard the question. She literally heard the question and then said, well, if the question is something else, it's not something else. It's the fucking thing I just said. What? This is amazing.
You have focused a lot on progressive domestic policy. You also voted for a military budget increase in 2017. How does that square with your progressive politics when we're talking about foreign policy?
If the question is, do I think we should cut the military budget, the answer is yes. And
Hey, if the question is what I did in the past, I say, let's talk about what I'm going to do in the future. How about that? That's amazing.
If the question is, do I enjoy chamomile tea in the evening, the answer is yes.
Do you enjoy chamomile tea? Here we go.
I'm now on the Senate Armed Services Committee. I've had this fight over and 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 over. But there's another part to it too. We need to stop the control over our defense budget that's exercised by the giant defense industry. As you know, we now have a Secretary of Defense who spent 7 years as head lobbyist for Raytheon. I asked for some simple conflict of interest rules that he would abide by. For example, not to make decisions that involve Raytheon and Raytheon's bottom line. And he refused. The Republicans confirmed him anyway, but this is what corruption is all about. Putting lobbyists...
You fucking voted for it! What are you talking about? You voted for that fucking corruption! How dare you say this shit? Deflecting when asked, well, I'm gonna be deflecting when asked about a question about my military vote. I have a plan for that.
Jimmy, I went to him and I asked him a direct question and he wouldn't answer it.
She has a hard time justifying voting for the military budget, just as I would have a hard time justifying voting for an establishment Democrat. The only difference is I don't fucking do that. Here's Elizabeth Warren is quietly telling Democratic insiders. With phone calls, texts, and handwritten notes, the Massachusetts senator is continuing an unusually determined outreach effort to show party officials she is aligned with them. That doesn't feel good. I gotta tell you, that doesn't feel good.
I'm looking for text messages, voicemail that says you're standing with the people.
Yeah, maybe the people of Standing Rock. I would like to see it. Where was that text message? Where's the text message saying you're standing with Bernie in 2016? Where's that text message? Hey, here's a text message. She's standing with Hillary Clinton. Warren and Clinton talk behind the scenes as 2020 race intensifies. That's what they're doing. And here's Nate's liver. He says, Warren's starting to lock down her private positions. She's found the sweet spot between Bernie's Medicare for All happening and Hillary's single payer is never ever gonna happen. Expensive access for all, supplemented with GoFundMe for all. But Warren has made little effort to, so this is, they're not highlighting their connection together. She says, Clinton, who is perceived by many on the left as too centric, I perceive Chris Christie as spending too much time at the buffet. I perceive. To the extent that Democratic primary voters fear a repeat scenario in 2020, and to the extent that she's competing with Sanders for the votes of progressives, there may be good reason for Warren to keep her distance from Clinton publicly. You think? That's who is friends with Elizabeth Warren. And by the way, Elizabeth Warren stood up and applauded Trump when he said we're not a socialist nation. And I don't know if you can tell, but guess who fucking isn't standing and applauding?
Oh, Jimmy, I am a capitalist to the bone. To my bone.
You may have to take a hard look at Amy Klobuchar.
Why black voters are so important for Democrats in 2020, Elizabeth Warren struggled to draw black voters is a big problem. If Bernie's support was half as white as Warren's, it would be mentioned on TV every night. Warren's support is 71% white, by far the largest of all top-tier candidates. Media crickets. So spare us the Warren and Bernie are the same crap. The establishment is all in for her. And yelling into the wind like we always do.
What are you going to do when Elizabeth Warren chooses Hillary as her running mate?
I know. So Steph has a theory. Steph has a theory. Do you want to tell a theory? You want me to tell a theory?
Go ahead.
So the theory is that Elizabeth Warren picks Hillary as her vice president, and then Elizabeth Warren has an accident. Elizabeth Warren commits suicide, and then Hillary becomes the president. It's fucking perfect. That's funny. Come on, that's funny.
It's insane. And that is why we need a stable system which says that everybody has health care every day of the year, whether you're working or not. Other issues on health care. Young lady over there. Yep. Where? Somebody get to the mic? Just.
Sorry. Hello, my name is Mariah. I'm a student here currently at NEC.
Your name is Mariah?
Mariah.
Right, okay.
I am over $10,000 in medical debt. I had to quit my dream job working for the Disney Corporation because I got so sick I couldn't do my job anymore. When I came back here, I was jobless. I was kind of living with what I had left from being kind of given money from my parents and also given money from being full-time, and I had insurance through the company at the time. But when I came back to move here, I had to go on Medicaid, I had to get food stamps, and I feel like as a young person who's 24, I shouldn't have to even go through that. Also getting, news that your medical issues is going to change your life, and again, being a young person, having to make all those hard decisions is definitely
How are you going to pay off the $10,000 in debt?
I have no idea.
Has it impacted your credit?
Oh, yeah.
Tell me about that.
My credit score is so low that I can't even take out personal loans at this point for college.
This is everybody hear that? This is the insanity. This is not just health care. So if you don't pay your health care bill, then your credit is shot. If your credit is shot, you pay 25, 30% interest rates, which make it impossible if you buy a car. You can't buy a car, you can't get to work. But if your credit is shot, and by the way, that's why we've introduced legislation to exclude medical bills from credit ratings, by the way. But, I mean, what terrible crime did this young lady commit? What, she ran up a medical bill because she was sick? Is that a crime in America? Not that I heard of. And yet she's being punished. In the same way that young people who leave school with $50,000 in debt can't pay that, they're being punished as well. That means we change the priorities of this country, the value system of this country. And second of all, the point you made is a good point. I thought I touched on that a little while ago. And that as you have large corporations now who are making many millions of dollars selling marijuana, while at the same time we have people in jail for selling marijuana. Doesn't make a lot of sense to me. And that's why we're going to expunge the records of those people who are in jail for selling marijuana. But the last question, when do we do this? Well, I'm going to do it as fast as I humanly can. But I can't do it alone. I'm not here to lie to you, Arthur. Can't say I'm going to do it all tomorrow. I need the support of the American people to stand up to the greed of the drug companies and the insurance companies. We need the support of the American people to decriminalize or legalize marijuana and expunge the records. But these are very high priorities for me, and we're going to work on them as quickly as we humanly can. You know, I have not thought that I have done anything particularly radical, but apparently it turned out to be so. Because all that I said, nothing more radical than in the United States of America, our foreign policy should be even-handed. That we should be even-handed in A, making sure that Israel has a right to live in peace and security, it does, but also that we treat the Palestinian people with the respect and dignity they deserve. It's all I've ever said, but it turns out in the context of American politics to be fairly radical. And the other thing that I said, and I who am Jewish, by the way, get attacked for being anti-Semitic because I said that in Netanyahu, you have a leadership there which is extremely reactionary and racist. That's what I believe. That's not being anti-Semitic or anti-Israel, it's just calling it as it is. We have to understand also that countries like Saudi Arabia, which are murderous, corrupt regimes, are not our friends and our allies. All right? All right, my turn. Public colleges and universities, should they be tuition free? Why? All right, stand up. Give that woman one more. Get her a microphone. Stand up.
This is a really big issue. We have so many major issues in this country, and for us to not even be able to educate, there are so many countries that would be embarrassed to say that people aren't able to afford school. And in this country, we have so many people who aren't able to. And, you know, like Charisma said, her siblings are in debt, and they don't even have a career to go to. And we don't deserve that. We're a big country. We can take care of each other. And why not pay for our neighbor's school? Why not pay for our neighbor's health care? It makes no sense to me. We should look out for each other no matter what. And everybody should be educated. There's just no excuse. There's just no excuse.
Thank you. Excellent. So is it a radical idea to talk about making public colleges and universities tuition-free, significantly increasing Pell Grants and work-study programs with the goal that nobody in America leaves school in debt, and simultaneously canceling all student debt in this country through a tax on Wall Street speculation? Is that a radical idea? All right, tell me why not. I get criticized every day for it, so go on.
Hi, I'm Brenton. How can our country move forward if our future generations are not educated?
That's a short and succinct answer, makes the point, especially in a changing economy when the young people need skills that their parents did not need. Okay. And as president, I intend to address all of those issues. All right? I'm not going to tell you that $15 an hour is going to make you rich. It is not. But it may help you not having to pay 50% of your income for housing. It may enable you to put aside a few bucks for a vacation. That should be the minimum wage in this country as we attempt to get better paying jobs. All right, I got to get going here, but let me just say this. Thanks all for being here. And I'm asking a lot of you. I'm asking what no other candidate is asking of you. I'm asking for your vote. I'm asking for your help here in New Hampshire, and I think we stand a great chance to win here in New Hampshire. But I'm asking something even more for you. And I'm asking your help the day after we are inaugurated to stand with me as we address these issues and we take on the greed and the corruption of a corporate elite that thinks they are entitled to rule this country. I happen to hold an old-fashioned idea. I think it's ordinary Americans who should rule this country and not just a handful of billionaires. So thank you all very much for being here.